Hi there. Today I want to talk about developing intuition. I would say that I was born a very intuitive child. I have always felt what others deem impossible very well may be true. I've always had interest in metaphysics, supernatural, paranormal, unexplained phenomenon, much to my family's chagrin. The sun is in my eyes, and I'm going to have to scoot over. Okay. As the years passed by, I did attempt to conform to this matrix for a period of about 16 years, from the time I was 16 until I was 32. And I would say that during this time, my connection with my inner and higher self got weaker instead of getting stronger as it should have. Now, I did continue to have crazy experiences that eventually helped attribute to me waking up. The programming we are subjected to is from birth. It can be hard to avoid getting sucked into it, and even more difficult to break free of. Fortunately, I didn't buy into as much of the programming as my peers, and I attribute this to the fact that I read a lot, and so I began to see holes in narratives pretty early. Every time I have ignored a gut feeling, it has ended up being foolish. I've had so many things that I hear in my head in various voices, be it spirit or human telepathic connection, that come true. I couldn't begin to remember or list them all. And I know now this is what's known as being clairaudient. And I'm also claircognizant, which means I literally get information as if out of the air and mysteriously know things time and time again. I check what information is verifiable, and it is correct. I've had to reconnect with my intuition in addition to honing several other skills in recent years. It is a process that won't end this lifetime. I would say it took 2 years of living the changes before I felt I had a solid grasp on the process. I would say that my process is deprogramming and switching from being a negative person to a more positive mindset. And I learned what to do from therapy, rehab, and private study. And I'm almost 6 years into this process, and I feel better mentally than I've ever felt. Physically, I would still like to improve some habits and nutritional problems. But today is about intuition, what it is, why it matters, and how to tap into yours. Now, intuition is defined 6 ways by dictionary.com. I find that sometimes places use big words to try to sound more intelligent, and it just becomes confusing, but I'm going to read it as written. Intuition. 1. Direct perception of truth, fact, etc., independent of any reasoning process, immediate apprehension. 2. A fact, truth, etc., perceived in this way. 3. A keen and quick insight. 4. The quality or ability of having such direct perception or quick insight. 5. Philosophy. An immediate cognition of an object not inferred or determined by a previous cognition of the same object. Any object or truth so discerned. Pure, untaught, or non-inferential knowledge. I would say this is if you see an object that you've never seen before, maybe a piece of machinery or something, and you automatically know how it works. Linguistics. The ability of the native speaker to make linguistic judgments such as the grammaticality, ambiguity, equivalence, or non-equivalence of sentences deriving from the speaker's native language competence. I would say this is the ability, if you don't understand what someone's saying, like if you don't speak their language, you still are able to understand what they're saying. Developing intuition is a process, so don't expect to tap in overnight. Don't get discouraged if you're not connected in a week. The goal is to see which of these recommendations you can add into your life 1 or 2 at a time. Then, when you master one thing, choose a new one to add in. In a few months, you should notice your intuition improving if you consistently work at it. Things to do to connect with your intuition are: pay attention to the very first feeling you have about a situation. Now, this can be hard because our mental programs turn on fast. And notice when this first feeling was right. This is how you train the brain to pay attention and trust. Stop being embarrassed about your feelings. Get in touch with your feelings, and that may be the most important step to tapping into your intuition. Acknowledge and understand your feelings. Our feelings are guidance for us. Negative is what needs to be changed, and positive is what you should strengthen. Connect with your inner self by meditating, and do it consistently. And I would say consistently is at least 3 10 to 15-minute sessions per week at first. Meditation helps you to get quiet and learn to be in the present moment. At the heart of any meditation is the practice of quieting the mind, which can help us get in tune with our intuitive self. Take up journaling. Be free, creative, open, and expressive in them. Don't worry about spelling and punctuation. Criticism and editing have their place in formal writing, but not in writing to develop intuitive skill. Keep an intuition journal of intuitive impressions that come through dreams, thoughts, sensations, or instantaneous insights. Connect with your creative side. When you get into a creative flow, your mind transitions to stillness. Picking up a hobby you enjoy is a good way to do this. Go out into nature. Nature often has a calming and centering effect, which can help us tap into our intuition. Pay attention and be aware. In order to develop intuitive abilities, you must pay attention to what is going on around you. The more data you absorb from your environment, the more your subconscious has to work with when you have to make an important decision. Learn to trust your hunches and gut feelings. At first, this can be scary, but it gets easier. And I hope this information is helpful for some of my audience members. Focus on the parts you resonate with. If you have additional suggestions, please leave a comment. I hope you enjoyed this video and this topic. If you like my channel, please share it. And I appreciate each and every one of you. Thanks for watching.